So, welcome again to the AMATIC 2013 webinar series on MyMath Text with Dr. Rob Knight, and today's presentation is sponsored by the Innovative Teaching and Learning Committee of AMATIC. And AMATIC is the American Mathematical Association of two-year colleges, and our core value is building expertise and exhibiting leadership in the teaching and learning of mathematics, enhancing personal growth, and improving teaching methods and effectiveness as a personally initiated lifelong responsibility. And for more information, please visit our website at amatic.org. And please note that the views expressed by the presenter are not necessarily the views of AMATIC, and commercial products mentioned by presenters are not endorsed by AMATIC. And so now it's time to switch to our presenter slides. And so if you want to welcome our speaker again in the chat room while I'm doing that, that would be great. Okay, so I think that I'll turn it over to Rob right now as soon as your slides here pop up, and there we go. So if there's any glitches along the way, just let me know, and I'll try to make sure everything's running as smoothly as possible.
Well, thank you very much, John, and I would like to welcome everybody and tell you how honored I am to be able to present MyMath Text to all of you. This is a project on which I've been working for approximately the last 3 years. It's self-funded, and it is a learning management system and collaborative authoring tool that enables the use of open education resources. So the SLOs for today's presentation are as follows. First of all, what is an LMS? And it would be interesting to know how many of you know what an LMS is. I know that many of you do. And let's try using the hand raising or applause or whatever emoting tool you would like. Yeah, Kathy, very good. And Bill, Chris, excellent, very good. Way to go. How many of you, by a show of hands, have used or are using a learning management system at this time? Some of the learning management systems you may be familiar with, MyMathLab certainly, MathZone, WebAssign. So a good number of you. That's excellent. A CAT, and what a CAT is a collaborative authoring tool. And this is something that I am including in the MyMath Text platform, a means by which we can actually collaborate as professionals across this platform. OER, and I see a show of hands. Most people know what OER are. Open education resources, and of course we have a number of sites. Connections is one, and there are a number of open education resource texts available. How many have actually used open education resources in their courses? By a show of hands. Well, that's very good. That's very good. So about a half a dozen of you or so. It's interesting that that's about roughly half the number of people who have used learning management systems. And the point being that I really think that open education resources right now are a very underutilized development in education. In California, we have 2 Senate bills that were passed, Senate Bill 1052 and 1053. This is in the California State Senate. and they have to do with the establishment of the California Open Education Resource Council, and then also the establishment of the California Digital Resource Library. And these are two state initiatives that are really just getting started, and that I've been following very closely. They've passed the legislature, been signed by the governor, and are about to be implemented. MyMath Text has an advisory board that some of you may be familiar with the people on this board. Barbara Orlowski, who's very well known in the California State Academic Senate. She's presently working at the Chancellor's Office for community colleges here in California. Has taken, I guess, serves as my technical support advisor. Keith Devlin from Stanford, he's the NPR radio's math guy, and has authored many books. Ravi Gundaspali, who is the CEO and founder of MentorCloud, which is technical advisor, Wani Park, and he's really excellent in the gamification aspect of things. I see. Let's see. Can I perhaps do something to increase my volume? Let me see if that helps.
We're cutting in and out, but it seems like
John,
you may be better now.
Okay, great. I increased the volume, and maybe that's what needed to be done. Okay, so hopefully this will go a little smoother. Some frequently asked questions, one being, why did I create MyMath Text? And the reason was really twofold. One was quite selfish. I've worked with learning management systems like MyMathLab and with MathZone, and I still use both those learning management systems. But the one thing that I really was unhappy with was the ability to input my own material, whether it be videos that I created or things that would be solutions, text material that I wanted to use. And with the advent of open education resources, the open educational resources that have become available. MyMath Text is completely unique from other learning management systems and collaborative authoring tools. First of all, MyMath Text itself is not an OER. It is a platform by which OER can be presented. So unlike Moodle, which I also have tried and find very cumbersome and don't really appreciate it, I'm trying to see if there's anything that I can do about the volume that you're reporting. MyMath Text is not an open source code. In other words, you can't download the code and then play with it, and as you can do with Moodle. It is a platform which is used to present open education resources and course material using OER. MyMath Text is absolutely free. This has been self-funded by me, and I paid for the development. We started from scratch. We didn't take Moodle and then tweak it. We actually started from the bottom and have been writing code. I don't write code, but I design the platform. And it's free to students as well as to instructors. This past 2 semesters, I have collectively saved my students between $35,000 and $50,000 in textbook costs. You're able to actually create a digital textbook in very much the same way as digital textbooks are presented with other learning management systems, MathLab and MathZone and WebAssign. Right now I'm still in the beta testing stage. I've restricted it to the teaching of statistics right now, and I'm using it to teach 3 courses this semester. I used it last semester and for 2 classes, and over the summer I'll be teaching another 2 classes, and in the fall 2 more classes in statistics. I'm keeping it to statistics for the beta testing period so that it's kind of easy to keep track of the difficulties. The reasons that I use MyMath Text is because I'm able to completely customize individual problem presentations. I can make full use of the wealth of OER material that's available, including MOOCs. And for those of you who don't know what MOOCs are, they are massive open online courses that are given through some of the universities like Stanford, Princeton, Duke, and so forth in a variety of different courses. The ability to actually import the lectures from MOOCs into MyMath Text and then build your own questions and also your own lessons, whether they be videos or other material that you might want to include in addition to what is being supplied by the actual institution, makes this a manner in which you as a professor could, let's say in the field of statistics, you could utilize the Princeton course in statistics and the lectures that are given there and import them, build a course with questions around that, also import your own videos into those questions, and actually customize that MOOC to your own individual preferences. You could also include lectures from other MOOCs, or leave out things that you don't particularly want to have in your course. And saving students money in textbook costs, both hard copy or digital, is a major reason. The problems that I tried to overcome were the kind of one size fits all problem explanation with no ability for the input. The publisher created texts really aren't able to use the vast array of open education resources that are available simply because they are for profit. And just as a side, the present average expenditure for students per year on textbooks is over $1,200, which I can't tell you how many students have verbalized their appreciation for saving them money. Many of my students, as I'm sure yours are students who are working 2 jobs to make ends meet while they're going to school, maybe single-parent families with, daycare and childcare concerns, and it really is appreciated when you can save them a significant amount of money. This is the MyMath Text platform. You can go to it by going to mymathtext.org. The platform I have made available for students and teachers. I've had a number of teachers, in fact, some of you I have recognized your names, have registered as teachers. I have responded with a email to you allowing you to register as a student and experience this course as a student. I've set up a special instructor's demonstration course. The donate button that you see there is there for donations. I can report to you that we have had none, which I find not surprising, because my students really can't afford to donate. But if somebody wanted to, that is available. I don't solicit that, however. The student experience is one where there's a main page, and on the main page you'll see the heading across the top there, which is specific to statistics. That will change as the courses change. The home course section, home, has links for the announcements, the assignments, videos, the gradebook, the course calendar, a way to email the professor, and so forth. You can see that also on the course homepage there's a banner, in this case elementary statistics, being taught by me at Evergreen Valley College. And under that there are places for announcements, and those announcements also allow you to embed YouTube videos. For example, Haas Rosling's excellent video on visualization of data, which some of you may be familiar with. When the student clicks on the All My Assignments, they can choose from the various assignments. You have the ability, those red flags mean that before the student can take, for example, a Chapter 1 quiz, they must have satisfied the prerequisite, which is a 70% on the homework. You'll also notice across the top there we have the homework, test, and quiz categories. I've also put in 2 other categories, attendance and extra credit, but these were put in by me for my course specifically, and the teachers have, the instructors have the ability to put in as many categories as they want, and weight those categories, and have them put in grades and so forth. This is what the question template looks like, and I'll just spend a couple of minutes here. First of all, these questions are not algorithmically generated. These are questions that are individually written and figured out. You'll notice across the top that if a question is gotten correct, there's a green check, or if not, a red X. On the side on the right, you'll see a Show Work button, and I'll get to that in a second. There's also the ability to print the question, and under that are learning aids that the student can access for this particular homework question. And those learning aids are specifically assigned or appointed, if you will, by the teacher for that particular question. And those can change from question to question, and from instances of that question on homework to, say, on a quiz, where you might not want to have the solution video, but you might like to have a table or access to a particular calculator or what have you. You also have the ability to check the answer, ask for a similar question, and so forth. The Save button is to save the question answer and submit the homework. When the student clicks on the video, and this is a video that I've created, and it's an explanation of a normal distribution question involving the z-score formula and using the graphing calculator. This video comes up in a window, and the student is able to watch the video and also work on the questions as they watch the video. They can pause it and open up other windows as well. This is a YouTube video that explains the rounding to the different decimal places, which is something that students sometimes, even though taking statistics, have forgotten what the hundredth or the thousandth place is and how rounding is accomplished. So this is a YouTube video that is very easily linked to in the learning aids area. Some professors use Fathom or Excel or other programs for statistical analysis. And if a student has, for example, Fathom or Excel on their computer, one of the learning aids can actually be a data set. And when that data set is clicked to that link, that data set actually opens up in the program. So it quickly allows students to get to work using the program that they have installed on their computer. They don't have to download it and then go to the program and come in and out of the program. It simply is launched inside the particular program that is called for. This is the excuse me, show work area. And here we have an example of a student who is showing their work. There are a number of features across the top that I'll just mention. The first arrow that you see, the arrow next to the green undo button, is a selection tool. Then there's a undo and redo button, as well as a save button. The students are able to use this show work area using a tablet, so that if they have a tablet, they can write their work. There's also a text tool. That's the little A that you see there. And then they're able to add images, so that if a student takes a screen capture of, say, a graphing calculator screen that they've used, they can import it easily into their work, resize it, and present their work this way. One of the things that I'm trying to incorporate into the version 2.0 is a quick way for this student's work to then be downloaded, if you will, or uploaded into a digital notebook for the homework, quizzes, or tests. Right now, they can do that, but it requires them to take a screen capture and then input it into a folder in their digital notebook that they can keep on their desktop. When a student shows their work, this is the instructor's view, and you'll notice across the top on the right-hand side, the show work button has now changed to a see work button. So as an instructor, I'm able to see the work that the student has done. When I click it, I'm able to open that work up and then make comments on their work. And you'll notice that the only color available to me is red, and by the way, the student template does not have red, so they can't put in comments in red and kind of confuse everything. The red comments can then be saved. The student can then open that area and then perhaps work on it some more, send you an email asking you to look at the problem. The area that you have in red here can then be deleted and other comments put in, so that the show work area actually becomes almost a dialogue back and forth between you and the student about this particular problem and the approach that was taken, so that the whole idea of the show work area isn't just simply showing work, but also creating a dialogue back and forth between professor and student. The student's view of the gradebook, and I have Jennifer's permission to use her as an example here, is given here, and you can see that they have the various assignments, and they can look at them by category, homework, test, quiz, and so forth. The course calendar is a course calendar that allows the monthly view or weekly view or daily view. The particular homework, test, quiz, or custom exercises are color-coded across the top. And as you create those particular exercises and give them names, those names are then put into the calendar in the appropriate color. Over one of those assignments and clicks on it, they're brought to that assignment. The due date is the date that's on the calendar here. As a professor, you can decide to be strict about your due dates and have them not work after the due date, or you can allow students to work after a particular due date and use the calendar as more of a pacing, if you will, tool, so the students know approximately where they should be. When a student has completed a particular exercise and has submitted it, that exercise then does not appear in the course calendar. So if it's here, it means it hasn't been done. Once it's completed and submitted to a satisfactory percentage, then they can move on. The students can easily email me. There's an email my professor link. They can also upload a file. This sometimes is very helpful when a student wants to have me look at a particular piece of work that they've done. They can scan it if they've written it out. They can take a screenshot using a screen capture tool that I've provided for them that also is free. The instructor dashboard is a dashboard that is fairly classic. It includes the announcements, sending emails, and so forth. The course menu management tool is pretty straightforward, and you can use it very easily. It's very similar to course management tools in other learning management systems. The class roster that you see here includes the student picture, and the way that this is accomplished, I've worked with my Dean of Admissions and Records, and the student photos are immediately input into the MyMath Text program from the Admissions and Records Office data bank. The important thing to realize here is that this is not something that is seen by other students. This is only for the instructor's eyes. In fact, no other instructor would be able to see this. because there are various privacy concerns. Um, the privacy concerns would be appropriate if everybody saw this, but you're the only person seeing this. This is also an excellent tool when you say are teaching an online or hybrid course and you're giving a proctored exam and you need to know what the person looks like who walks in. There's been, security issues with the people showing up to take tests who aren't really the people who are registered for the course, and this would be a step in the right direction at least. I have created also something called a photo roster, and this is a roster of the students simply using their photographs. This is something that you can pull up on your screen and use the scroll bar on the right to go through the photo roster. You'll see that on the upper right of the screen there's also a print button, and this would print out so that if you were teaching an in-class class face-to-face, you could have the students' pictures in front of you, maybe at the podium or on your desk, so that as you look around the classroom, you'll actually be able to tell or call the people by their names. And I've done this in such a way that you'll notice it's alphabetical by last name, but the first name is highlighted in bold so that it stands out a little bit. When you click on any one of the students' photos, it comes up a little bit bigger, which is nice. And if you look carefully underneath the student's name here, you'll see a click to open Gradebook result. And when you click on that, what happens is that the Gradebook results for that student are also shown on the screen. So that if you were, say, sitting in a classroom that was a smart classroom, or you had a teacher's computer and you were looking around the classroom and you were wondering, Binera here, how is she doing? First of all, you know her name and you can see that she's passing the course, but maybe needs a little bit of help to get from the C to a B. And you can also use the scroll bar in the Gradebook to look and see where she ran into problems. So this would be something you could use right there in the classroom when you need it, and answers a problem, a question that I've always had for a long time in terms of how people are doing in my class. The instructor's Gradebook is, as you see here, you can look at all the students, or you can look at them in various alphabetical categories. When you click on one of them, here we are back at Minera, you can take the different drop-down menu and you can email students, you can change the score, review that particular assignment, which is what I do when a student will send me an email and said, Dr. Knight, I didn't know how to do this particular problem. I've shown my work for problem number 7 in chapter 1 homework, and would you please look at it? I can then go to that problem under review. The show work area becomes a see work area, and I'm able to make comments on it. I can then email the student back from this location easily and say, please check the show work area for that problem. I've made some comments, and if you have more questions, please email me. The Gradebook categories are standard homework test quiz, but then you can add any other categories you want, and you can add as many of them. So if you had, let's say, project 1, project 2, you wanted to also say include attendance for 5%, and maybe there was an extra credit problem, all of that could be included, and those categories, as they're included, are then able to be weighted in determining the student's grade automatically. Here we have the way in which the student can add, rather the instructor can add an offline item. The gradebook category is given so that you can decide the category under which you want to add that offline item. So let's say you had an in-class test that was a paper test, not a computer-generated test, and you wanted to include the score in that. You could then choose the category, give it a name, select the chapter that it's going to be assigned to. You're able to weight the different categories, and you can see across the top here I have category weighting, so that the categories there, I've just done this as an example. Homework 25%, the test 40%, the quiz 25%, attendance 10%, and I have extra credit 0, and I can assign that, but I can assign an extra credit score, but it doesn't automatically get counted. You see that the total 100% there tells me that those do add up to 100%. If I went over or under 100%, that total would show up as 90% or 105%, and it would turn bright red, so that you're alerted that your category weighting is has to be recalculated. We can also weight assignments within each category. So for example, here you see I have a midterm 1, midterm 2, a final exam, and there's also an extra credit test with 0 points. I've just simply assigned each of them 20 points, and that was very arbitrary. You can make them all 100 points, it really doesn't matter. But the percentage of the total test score is then adjusted as per the number of points that are assigned, so that you can weight the particular items within the category. If you wanted the final exam to count more than the 2 midterms, you could do that easily just by assigning the point value differently. You can manage incompletes, and this is a tool that is very useful at the end of the semester when everybody's finished the course and some people haven't finished, and you want to assign a 0 for unfinished material. Checking everything will then assign 0s to anything not completed or submitted. The spreadsheet, as it's exported, I wanted to have very simple, and there are a number of different export spreadsheets that you can export. This is an example of one for a particular class, and I probably should have blocked out the names, but forgive me. And you see, it's something that can be printed out and sent off to admissions and records just as it is. It doesn't have to be doctored with too much. It's very easy to use. We can also have all of the homeworks and spreadsheet for homeworks, spreadsheet for tests, spreadsheet for quizzes, etc. You can manage the assignments individually. The assign, unassign, you can edit, set prerequisites, settings for class, setting for students, preview the assignment, list the questions, or just delete the assignment altogether. If you have the assignment assigned and students have attempted it, then you're unable to delete it, and that's fairly standard. The ability to manage many assignments at the same time is also present in this. You can create new questions, and in creating new questions, you can start with an empty template. You can copy and edit a question from a sample question bank that is part of the administrative side of the program. You can copy and edit a question from your own online course. And this is particularly helpful when you start with a particular question. And again, these are not algorithmically generated. I find algorithms just many times cause more headaches than they're worth. And really creating 5 or 10 questions of one type is plenty. you can copy that question, change some of the parameters of the question, and then recalculate the answer and have that available. You'll notice the third choice there is to copy and edit a question from another teacher's online course, and this is where the collaborative authoring tool starts. In future versions, I intend to also make all of the resources that teachers use available to one another, as well as tests and entire courses, if that. You can easily copy questions from one course, from an instructor. This is from another instructor's online course. Once you've copied that question, you can elect to have that as a multiple choice question, or you can select a short answer. Under short answer, presently, we're only working with numerical input. You can choose an exact answer that has to be input. You can create a set of answers. So, you could say, what are the counting numbers up to 5? And, the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if they leave out one of those answers, then the appropriate percentage is deducted from the grade for that answer. You can also set a range of values for that answer, including or excluding both ends of the range, so that that's very helpful, especially in statistics, where many of the answers are decimal answers, and the decimal answers sometimes will vary depending on whether a student is using a calculator or if they're using a table, and the amount of rounding that they do and so forth. So this accommodates that, and also in that you are, in many cases requiring the students to show work. You can see, if they've got pretty close to the right answer, did they have the right idea in doing it, then you can always kind of correct them and get back to them. The learning aids in this can be specifically assigned for the different questions, and you'll notice across the top it says in yellow number of links and files, and under that the different types. And you have a YouTube video, that's the one on the left. Then there's videos. I use Camtasia to create videos. There's a PDF file, and you can also link to other OER websites, so that if I wanted to link to, say, the lecture on the different kinds of the different fields in statistics in the Princeton course, for example, I could do that easily here. And this is done very, very simply. I've done this so that it's, I think, disruptively elegant in the ease with which you can input and include learning aids. And you can have as many learning aids for a particular question as you like. Here's an example of the question, which is the normal distribution, central limit theorem, application problems 1D, and this is one of many. I have my own solution video. I have a lesson video. There's an OER textbook link. And if you have Acrobat Pro, you can just simply include the 1 or 2 or 3 pages instead of the whole textbook. And then YouTube videos. And also you can include links to other websites. If you have questions that have been cloned, in other words, you created one question on your own, or perhaps copied it from another teacher, and then use that as the basis for other questions, then assigning the learning aids for those other questions is just simply a matter of checking off which ones you want to include. And if you want to include all of them, you just simply click all of them, and then that's done. So copying the learning aids from one clone to another clone is very easily done and saves a lot of time. The banner across the top is something that you can customize, and here I've included the name of the course, my name, the college, and then the colors, and these colors can be changed easily under the course, under the banner, modified banner area of the course section dashboard. So if at Halloween you want to have black and orange, you could do that. If at the holidays you want to have green and red, you could do that, or whatever. So it gives you the ability to customize these, which is very nice. I like having my course look like it's my course. The summary here, the course summary, is something you can edit. Up on the upper right, you can see that you can edit this, and the enrollment start date and end date, your course section start date and end date, and the view example documents and view example videos are checked by default, and the enrollment there that you see 95, this was 2 classes in one, so I don't usually have 95 students in a class, but I put the 2 classes in one because as I was teaching this course, I was also writing the material for the course, so that was a little bit just ahead of them. So this was Math 63, Section 204 and 207. I had some student testimonials that I thought were particularly moving for me personally. Some of them, for example, this question, this testimonial, and I just simply included things that people sent me about the program. I asked them, how they liked it and give me some feedback. And I think you can see that they responded very well to this. I had one person come up and say, I really want to thank you for saving me $100 to $150, depending on what book the professor decides to use. Some colleges rent books at the bookstore, and that costs $80. If you go online and use one of the learning management systems, the publishers, those are getting pretty expensive too. So this is free, and the students really, really appreciate that. They don't take advantage of it. And I find them, especially during this beta testing period, to be extremely cooperative and patient with some of the little glitches that come up from time to time, but that's to be expected when you create something, and this is the first time we're using it. This is the second semester. For version 2.0, which is the next thing that my team of advisors and I are working on, and my developers, some of the features that I'd like to include is the expansion to include algebraic questions and answers for courses like pre-algebra, algebra, pre-calculus, calculus, and so forth. Making this MyMath Text able to be used on mobile devices like smartphones and tablets, and looking into the cloud technology. Tablets are just exploding. I mean, every time you open the newspaper or the paper on your tablet, there's a new tablet, and it's changed. Another thing that I would like to include is, and this is actually pretty easily done, is creating an SLO assessment tool. In California here, SLOs and the assessment of SLOs is really a big thing when it comes to accreditation, and having that done easily by a teacher, say, assessing the SLO for the homeworks, for the quizzes, for the tests separately, or for the course in general, and being able to do that easily with a click of a button would be really nice. And then developing the collaborative authoring tool into a professional social networking app, kind of like Google Plus meets LinkedIn for community college instructors to share courses, learning aid resources, questions, and so forth. LinkedIn I mean, the purpose of LinkedIn, as far as I could see, is, help me get a job. But this is more like help me do my job and let me help you do your job. And it's a great way, it would be a great way for us to collaborate across the campus or across the country and share professional material uh, easily. And, and I think it's something that is really so needed in education. It's incredible how little collaboration really happens in education as I see it. Certainly within any company like Google or Yahoo or Facebook, collaboration is the entire reason that, for example, Melissa Myers had everybody come back to Yahoo and they have to be on campus now. A lot of them talk about that, but the reason is because collaboration leads to innovation. So it's being able to collaborate is something that's really really so important. So the things that I hope to achieve today was to make you aware of the MyMath Text platform. I invite you to experience MyMath Text as a student simply by logging on to mymathtext.org. Click on the register as a student. The instructor's course ID number that I've included for the course that you can take as a student is given here. And I've also asked John if he would send everybody an email with this information in it. And that would be something that I welcome you to experience, and also welcome your input about the course as you see it. This is again the instructor's demonstration course ID number, 6CRGAPWFKT. This is just generated by the program. I didn't make that up. It doesn't stand for anything. And that is the mymathtext.org program. And again, this is something that I have developed over the past 3 years. It's occupied a major portion of my life and taken a major portion of my money, as you can imagine. Right now, the Board of Advisors and I are looking to try to find some funding sources for the future development. And any advice any of you have in that regard would be greatly appreciated. Again, this is not a for-profit venture. It's something that is free to students and to faculty. I want to thank you for your attention, and I'll entertain questions.
Thank you, Rob. And if you do have any questions, we have a couple of minutes left, and then I'll actually, at the end of a couple of minutes of question and answer here, I'll put up the survey link. But let's turn it back over to Rob to answer the questions.
So one of the questions is considered applying for a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for support. I really haven't been trying to go to foundations as of yet, simply because I've been so involved in the program. But I'll take help from anywhere. My experience has been, and right at the doorstep of the Silicon Valley here, is that it's very it's very big name oriented. You know, if you come from Stanford, everybody wants to be your friend. If you don't, nobody wants to know you. Uh, so what I'm hoping to do is expand this to the point where I can have other professors using it for statistics, and you know, by word of mouth, go that way. Can grade categories be expanded? Yes. The grade project, the categories can be expanded and printed out on your spreadsheet, and you can assign the weighting of the grades to those categories, so that you can be as specific as you want. You can even, for example, what I did was I also included an extra credit area with no credit, you know, assigned in terms of the weighting of the course. But if a person got 5 points, and that would show up on the grade book, and I can include that. So even things like extra credit, as well as projects and attendance. If you wanted to include attendance, you could, you know, just take the number of times they've been present, and then, you know, and find the percentage. I was also thinking of putting in an attendance tool in this, which would be kind of cool. And just as you look around the class, check people who are there by picture. Thank you very much, Mary. I appreciate that comment. It's been very liberating to be able to work on this, and do something that you want to do and have it come out the way you want it to come out.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, Rob, but I want to just thank you for being here today. So if everyone in the chat room, that would be of you for participating in today's AMATIC webinar as well. And if you'd like to support future AMATIC webinars, please consider becoming a member of AMATIC at amatic.org/join-amatic. And please remember to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/amatic. And recordings of past AMATIC webinars can be found at bit.ly/AMATIC webinars, and it typically takes us about 1 to 2 weeks to produce and upload webinars to the archive. And if you could please take a couple of minutes to evaluate the webinar content in the speaker today at bit.ly/AMATIC106, that would be great. And this would be the place, if you need email confirmation of your participation in today's webinar, to simply just fill in the optional section at the end of the evaluation there. And again, I'll leave that link up on the screen right now, but if you could thank Rob again, that would be great. And I'm sure that he'll stick around for a few more questions if you would like, but I am going to end the official recording right now.